YouTube and hello 9th Age community. This is Charles with Evershed Gaming, and I've got another 9th Age battle report. So I got this game in about a week ago against one of the opponents in the area. I played just as demons about 2 weeks ago, but today when we played, he brought up his ogres. So got to play against ogre cons, which I haven't played against in quite a while. And I actually played a similar list to what I played against his playtest demons. I have a knight commander. He's my general. He's on a horse with 1-up armor save, with his shield. He's got the potion of swiftness, the light of the Sonnstahl, and the witchfire guard. So one of the cool things about .205 is you could fit a potion of swiftness on this guy now. And then I have a marshal on a horse with a lance, a pistol, a 1-up with a shield, and then he's got the banner of speed and Caradon's courser. I've got a prelate with a 1-up. He's got the crown of the Wizard King, the Death Warrant, and the Obsidian Rock. And then I have a wizard adept with the Book of Arcane Mastery, and he's on foot. So mostly mounted characters. And then for my core section, I have 14 knightly orders with full command. They have lances and shields, and then they have the Stalker standard. So pretty big knight bus. And then I have 6 knights, 6 basic electoral cavalry with great weapons and musicians, and then a small militia bunker with skirmisher, and then I have 2 things of Knights of Sungriffin, 4 with banner and musician and the banner and discipline, and then 3 with just the lance upgrade and a musician. And then I have 2 units of riders, 1 unit of riders with the repeater gun, and then another unit of riders with brace of pistols, and then I have 2 Imperial Rocketeer. And then I have a steam tank rounding out my list. So mostly mounted list, a little bit of, I don't want to say light shooting between the riders and the militia, and then a couple artillery pieces with rocket batteries. Kind of giving the rocket batteries another swing. They've been okay. They haven't been as, I feel like I'm enjoying them more than I was when I play tested them like forever ago. So my opponent's OgreCon list. He's got a Firebrand Master Shaman with Pyromancy. So he's got the big name Firebrand, and then he's also got a Con Horde Master with Kakardin's Resistance, Skull of Quintet. He's Horde Master, so I think he's got a decent armor save. And then he's got all bruisers in core, 1 unit of 8 bruisers, and then 2 things of 3 bruisers. And he's got 2 saber-toothed tigers for a little chaff, 2 things of tuskers. They both have paired weapons, and I think they have musicians. Maybe they don't have. Maybe just it's ogres. I don't know. They just go forward, right? And then he's got 2 things of bombardiers. They have musicians, and then a thunder cannon, and then he's also got another thunder cannon. So a decent amount of shooting. I liked all the bruisers in core. Tribesmen and bruisers are both really great. Yeah, there's this other thunder cannon. So 2 thunder cannons. So decent amount of shooting. I definitely don't have as much shooting as he does in this list. So. This is my prelate on a horse. He's rocking the crown of the Wizard King, and I rolled up Druidism, which was really dope. So obviously I get the the healing waters, and then that tribute spell, and the Oaken Throne, and then my adept took flaming swords to buff my my rocket batteries, and I took altered sight with the hereditary spell. For deployment, we just had frontline clash, and then our objective. Start with my deployment on the right here. I've got my 6 knights with great weapons, my unit of riders with the brace of pistols, and then my steam tank next to the forest. That cannon is not a cannon; it's a rocket or Imperial Rocketeer. And then the next 5 riders are the riders with the repeater guns, and then sort of pretty central to my lines is my big knightly orders unit, and that's got my prelate, my knight commander, and my BSB in it. Next to them is my small unit militia with my wizard adept, and then I've got another rocket battery. And that piece of terrain is not it kind of looks like a hill, but it's actually a rune. So it's in a rune, the heavy cover. I thought it'd be nice for all the shooting he had. And then finishing out my deployment on my left flank is both units of Knights of Sungriffin. So, yep. Yeah, that's deployment for Emperor Sonnstahl. There's my Knight Commander on the left, my BSB next to him, and then my Prelate is on the right side of the unit. So I was pretty excited that he had Druidism in this game. I was like, that could be really useful. So looking at my opponent's deployment on his or on my left side of the board, looking at it from left to right, he's got both units of Tuskers kind of mirroring really my Knights of the Sun Griffin. That's kind of an interesting matchup. It's really who gets the charge. It's a big deciding factor. That's his big unit of bruisers. His unit of 8 bruisers with his Horde Master Khan DSB. One of his units of 5 bombardiers. Another unit of 5 bombardiers, and that's got his Firebrand Shaman in it. That's another good picture. That's an awesome model. It's like a monk. He's kind of got like 3 themes going on in this Ogre army, but I love the monk Firebrand. He's got a saber-toothed tiger in front of that unit of bombardiers with the Firebrand. He's got a demon cannon. No, that's actually a thunder cannon, but he's just proxying a model in for it. Both his bruiser sticks in the middle. They both have banners, I believe, which is nice. So the front guys are both banners, which actually I think is great for bruiser sticks. That combat res just can be really helpful for them. Another saber-toothed tiger, and then his last thunder cannon. So I ended up dropping quite a bit to go first, and those are my vanguards. I just move up my repeater gun guys to make sure they can see the saber tusk, and I move up my brace pistol guys as far forward as possible. First roll of the game is the steam tank, 43 movement. Just kind of scooch her on up. Her, I don't know why I never called the steam tank her before, but that's interesting. Yeah, I can't remember what I was gonna shoot at. Yeah, I don't know, but I just moved the steam tank up. It's kind of a little far from the action, so it needs to start coming forward. I moved my knights pretty far forward. I was really hoping that I could clear both the chaff pieces, and then I was kind of far away from those bruiser sticks, and I'm like, I feel like if I can get rid of those 2 saber tusks, those knights can just turn 2, get into something, and start, blown through ogres. He's got a lot of shooting, so I'm thinking like, the earlier the better I can get into combat. The earlier the better. So, and then over on this left side, I think he's got like longer charges, like 11 on the dice. Because if I can get him to fail some charges, then my knights can come in. And I think if I go in on the charge, I think I win. There's a small chance that like if his impact hits are bad, I could possibly win. But it's a tough matchup, really, if I don't get the charge, because he gets those impact hits, and I lose some strength 6 on the lances. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes on the left flank there. This is kind of a good shot of what the battle is looking like. Yeah, if I can get those saber-tooths out of the way, those knights can get anywhere. I think turn 2 with advance 9 and a reroll. Flux card 8 turn 1, which is never bad. So it leaves me with, looks like 9 veil tokens, and I trade them all in for 3 more dice, so I got a lot of spells I can actually cast, since with Druidism I got you got the extra Oaken Throne spells, so, you're basically trying to cast 2 of those, which I cast the Oaken Throne with my Prelate, with his Crown of the Wizard King, so he's got a beautiful vine throne growing around him on his horse, apparently. And then I get Flaming Swords off on one of my rocket batteries, which is great. I like wounding ogres on 2, or even tuskers on 3s, I guess. It's not bad either. And then I'm able to use the blaze from that to kill the saber-tooth, so that's a great start to clearing those tigers out of the way. And then I also get healing waters off of the knights, which is really good because he's got all those bombardiers that can just kind of shoot into my knights, even cannons if you wanted. And then one of my rocket batteries shoots, and it soaks up 2 wounds. I like rocketeers because they can't misfire technically, and this one misfires too. And I'm not sure what the first one shot. I want to say I shot everything at the bombardiers, and I think I only did 1 wound to the unit. So even with wounding on 2s and stuff like that, I kept rolling 1s to wound. The riders on the hill with the brace pistols put a wound on the thunder cannon, and then my riders with the repeater guns failed to kill the other saber tusk. I was hitting on 5s, wounding on 4s. I think I only got 2 hits, and I didn't wound with either of them. So unfortunately, as you can see in this picture, at start of Ogre Khan's turn 1, he's been able to chaff my knights with that 1 saber-tooth tiger. So that's frustrating. And now those bruiser sticks are close too. They can chaff me next turn as well. So I was I was really upset at that. I can't remember. I might even stop my steam tank at the saber-tooth tiger, and I either didn't hit or I didn't wound. But yeah, this little guy, he's causing a lot of trouble right now. Because I would love to see those knights go into some of those bombardiers and just get rid of them. But unfortunately, I'm chaffed. Ugh. So he kind of inches forward a little bit closer than I thought he would have on this left flank, and I think he gave me. I think I'm 15 inches away from the one on the left, so I need an 8, which is not terribly hard to make. He gets Flux Card 3 for his first Flux Card draw, which I want to say probably gives him 7 to my 5. I think he only had 1 channel this game. Or no, he had 2, he had Talisman Void, so yeah, he probably saved 1. He gets Flaming Swords off on this this cannon right here. And then he shoots with his the volley gun function on the cannon at these guys. He only does 2 wounds. They pass their panic, which was great. And then this cannon misfires, can't shoot for a turn, so all around the cannon shots, yeah, really weren't too bad this round. And then between all his bombardiers, he does 3 wounds to the knights, so also not that bad, you know. We've got 3 ups and 4 ups against it all, so pretty good, honestly. It could be a lot worse. I could be rolling a lot more 1s and 2s, so. Start event by Sonnstahl 2, I'm able to make that charge to my Sun Griffin and these guys. And wow, it's just kind of funny looking into how much larger those Tusker Cav are. They're almost like little monsters, honestly. And they're tough, resilience 5 and everything. And then, you know, we have to clear the chaff, so we go into them. And this is what it looks like at the start of turn 2. So, I want to say, again, I kind of just barely inched up my Knights of Sun Griffin on the left there. Try to bait him in. But even if I have, you know, more attacks with the unit of 4, and, you know, I think with his impact hits, you know, he might kill 1, but even if he doesn't, I think I could possibly just barely win that combat, you know. But it would still be tough. So these guys failed their march block test, so they just kind of scoot over here, but they can still shoot at these ogres. At this point on turn 2, I'm like, I need to get these bruisers to like panic off the board, which is not going to be easy with Discipline 8, but I'm going to try. Pull Flux Card 5, which gives me 11. So I believe I'm going to save 2 and convert 3 over, which is exactly what I do. So it gives me 8 dice to his 5, which is also not bad. He did not dispel the Oaken Throne this turn, so I only had 3 spells I could cast. So able to get Altered Sight off in this rocket battery, which I believe had 24 inches on one of the bombardier units. So I was excited about that, you know, hitting on 3s. And then I'm also able to get Healing Waters off and put another wound back on him. So I think he stopped Flaming Sword, and that was it. So I shoot here with this rocket battery, and unfortunately, misfires. I roll another 1, so it takes up another wound. And I want to say it hit twice, wounded once, and did another wound to this unit. So multi-wound, you know, multi-wound 1. Woo! This one takes another wound. I'm just rolling like so many 1s at these guys, which I was like thinking about. I'm like, I feel like I was rolling way too many 1s. You know, you should only really roll 1-1 between 2 rounds of shooting, but I already have 5 wounds on these guys. I do end up doing 2 wounds over here, though, and I believe I also shot at this unit with my riders, and this unit of Bruiser's Panic, so that was awesome, and this one was a closer one, so, you know, I might actually not be chaffed on my turn 2 now, which is, or, yeah, it would be my turn 3, actually, which is great. And then I shoot my steam tank at the other unit of bruisers, and I just kill 1 outright, you know, with 3 wounds. I think I do 2 wounds with the first shot, and I think I get a wound with the penetrating. I also kill another ogre, and they panic as well. So that was really great, actually. So I was able to clear both those bruisers. Now my knights are, like, clear to, like, go in and do some pain. I want to say my archers do another wound over here. You know, just some simple bow fire at these guys. I still can't believe I've only done like a couple wounds to these guys. And then my riders over here with the brace of pistols put another wound on here. So just, you know, put as many wounds as I can on these ogres. we have no problem killing the saber-toothed tiger. My knight commander just flick of the Sonnstahl, and he's dead. And then over here, combat goes well. I know I take 2 wounds. I think I removed the dice because I don't have my skull tokens right now. I have to fix them. I just fixed them actually, but I didn't have them fixed for this game. Long story short. Combat goes well over here. I can't pursue him down, but either hopefully he just kind of flees off, or I could just go into him. Either way, I'm not too worried about the other unit even turning their face. So, and this is really what it looks like at the end of my Emperor Sonnstahl turn 2. So it's looking good. My steam tank's not that far from his cannon, so I'm hoping to get the steam tank into that one on the hill and just kind of get rid of it. I think my knights are going to be able to go into one of those bombardiers next turn. I'm a little bit worried about the shooting I have to soak up, but I do have a 4 regen, so. And it's not like his pyromancy is doing that much damage to me. On his turn 2, these guys rally, so that just means I have to go in there now and take care of them one more time. And then this is what it looks like. So yeah, his bombardiers I believe move up so that they're. I think one of them might be at long range, but one of them is at short range. I think the one on the left in this picture is closer than the one on the right. And then he moves up his Tusker Cav on the left there, like way forward, to where I can't feel charging them now. But he also moves up his unit of bruisers behind them, so if I do go into them, I'm also not going to be far from his bruisers too. So, which that's a tough choice because at this point I have to go into, and the objective is breakthrough, so I have to go into those bruisers. I have to go into those Tuskers, but then I might have to flee from the bruisers. I don't know. We'll see. He gets Flux Card 2 on his turn 2. His steam areas that he shoots at my steam tank and he puts 2 wounds on it from the cannon, which is fine. I can handle that. And then in the shooting phase, he's able to kill 2 knights. So again, not really that bad at all. Yeah. Having that Druidism has been amazing. That's all I can say. I was like, when I saw I got Druidism, I was like, that's so awesome. I was like, that's just amazing. I was kind of like thinking I was gonna, because most of the time with the Crown of the Wizard King, you're gonna get a damage spell. It's almost like I think 4 out of the 10 paths are a damage spell, which I was gonna be okay with. But then Druidism was pretty sweet, y'all. Yep, so this is kind of what it's looking like at the end of the Ogre turn 2. So at the start of Empire Sonnstahl turn 3, I put on the double for my BSB on this parent unit of Knights of Order. And I charging both my Knights to the Sun Griffin over here because, I have to go into the one that's in front of the unit of 4, and then at this point I shouldn't really have much trouble mopping up those 2 in the back. And, both these units are a lot of points, so. And then, as you can see here in the middle, we're zooming in. I charged my knights into one of the units of bombardiers, and his mage is in the bruiser unit by now. I think he moved in turn 2, he moved into the bruisers. Maybe in turn 1, honestly. And then I charged my riders into one of the small units of bruisers, one of the bruiser sticks. So both his bruisers that ran on my turn 2 rallied on his turn 2. And I'm kind of hoping to break these bruisers and get into that cannon so I can tie it up so it can't shoot me in the next turn. Because its volley gun is actually really scary for my knight. Strength 5 AP 4 is incredibly powerful. I get Flux Card 7 on my turn 3, which gives me, looks like, I think it gives me 11. So I save 2 and I get 3 more dice, which is good. At this point, I think he started dispelling my Oak and Throne every turn, which is okay. But I get it off because it's just so worthwhile. Being able to raise back a knight is it's incredible. It's just being able to raise troops is great. Man, how do armies get to do that? Then I got the Flaming Sword off on my one of my Imperial Rocketeers, which again is probably a short range for that other unit of my Bruisers, so I'm hitting on 4s. And then I shoot over here, and I think I missed with my cannon, but I do 3 wounds with my breath weapon, so that's pretty good. I like, I wish my cannon, I think my cannon didn't wound, unfortunately. And then over here, I think I do just a single wound with a rocket battery, so I'm able to kill a bombardier finally, and I think I might do some more wounds with another rocket battery, but yeah. In combat, the unit of 3 over here has no problem killing those last 2. I think they break them from combat and don't pursue, and then they just kind of turn to face towards the action in the middle. And then my unit of 4 also breaks their unit of 3 Tuskers. They leave, looks like they did 5 wounds. I think he's got one with 2 wounds on it, so not too shabby. Since those guys they even have a 6 of armor save against all my attacks, but I mean, just that resilience 5 is tough. And then I turn to face like this, so I want to say I'm 15 inches away from those bruisers with his 2 characters in it. So that's really a tough call, because if I don't flee, then I could possibly get a lot of stuff into that unit. And then my riders I don't want to say do an impossible, but they rocket out and they're able to just beat that bruiser. I want to say they did like 2 wounds, killed one of the ogres. The ogre struck back. He only hit once. He wounded once, and I think he was down by like 3, and he broke. This unit of bruisers panicked when I destroyed the 1 unit of bombardiers with my knights, so that was awesome. And then I had the decision to go after the cannon or to go after the bombardiers, so I wanted... these bombardier units were also pretty expensive, so I turned to face them, and there's also that big bruiser unit on this side too that I'm still thinking I want to deal with. So, and this is what it looks like at the end of my Sonnstahl turn 3. So, I'm kind of closing in on that big unit of bruisers, but we got to see what they do at the start of their turn 3, because they obviously have the biggest option for them is to charge my knights, which they do in turn 3, and I elect to flee. Even though it was like a 15-inch charge, he needed a 9. I was like, I just didn't want to risk it. And he ends up, I'm pretty sure he actually did roll a 9, so he would have got into me. So I feel like I was pleasantly happy with that decision. And then he kind of just turns his other bombardiers to face. He moves his 1 cannon to go shoot my knights. He's kind of, that thing's got strength 5 AP 3, volley gun, so it's going to be at long range, but even that is like, I could just, blow through knights. I think I still have a Fortitude save up, but I can't remember. I don't have the card by them, so maybe I did get it off, I guess, last turn. I must just not have the card move. And then he also rallies his other Tuskers, so everything rallies. Everything rallied every turn, so unfortunately I couldn't get any of those bruiser sticks to just kind of flee off the board, or the Tuskers to keep running off, but they're a discipline A. The main thing, he gets flaming swords off on these guys. I think he rolls a really high roll. Let's say he rolled like a 20. Yep, there it is. Yeah, he rolled like a 20. I thought about stopping it, but I wanted to stop his -1 to wound hereditary spell too, so... he shoots with his cannon, and that does 3 wounds to my knights, which, yeah. I want to say I don't have the Fortitude up right now, so yeah, that was just like 5 of armor save, so that's okay. And then he shoots here, and he does pretty well hitting. I think he did like 9 wounds to me, and I just made like 8 armor saves on a 3-up, so that was pretty awesome, because I could have seen myself just like rolling 5 1s and 2s and just being like, alright, that's 5 knights. But I only lose 1 from those guys, so that's pretty sweet. I win combat over here. I go in. I do 1 wound. He strikes back with everything. He only does 1 wound back to me, so I win with a charge and a flank. And he's only discipline 7, but he makes his discipline 5 check. And I was like, oh, if only. Because if I could have gotten rid of this, it's like, at this point, my steam tank's so close to his other cannon that I wouldn't have any problem. Basically, I have everything cleared, and the only thing I would have to worry about is the bruisers in front of me, right here in this picture. So, but that did not happen, unfortunately. So we go into the unit of bombardiers, who can't stand and shoot; they're too close. We go into that Tusker Cav with my other unit of Knights of Sun Griffin, who are just becoming experts at killing Tuskers at this point in this game. And yeah, we got that bruiser unit that we can look at too. And this is what the battlefield is looking like. So I believe at this point in the game, both my rock batteries have taken 4 wounds each. So they're both sitting on 1 wound. So I was even debating, like, do I even fire them this turn? I mean, they're both going to have points. So at the most, he only gets 160 more points if they both die, which really isn't that many points when you think about it. Yeah, and this is my steam tank made its random movement into the cannon, so that shouldn't be any problem killing this thing. You know, it's only got one wound. I got strength 7 impacted, so it's gonna see you later. These guys, however, are like a little spooked from that bruiser charge, and they do not rally, so they are 2 inches from the board. So hopefully next turn. You got Flux Card 1 on turn 4, which gives me 6 fail tokens. I believe I get 3. I had 1 left over, something like that. So I ended up electing to save 1. Save 1 of the... Or I think I had 9 fail tokens, sorry. So I ended up saving some. I get 2 more dice. I'm able to get Altered Sight off on these guys. They moved, and they're only hitting on 6s even with Altered Sight, but I'm really trying to get rid of that bruiser stick. I just need to do a wound, I think, to make it panic again. So, and then I get my Druidism spells off again. I think I 1 dice the Oaken Throne, and then I throw everything else at. I think I throw 3 at the Healing Waters, and unfortunately he can't stop it, so I get another Night back too. And then I shoot, and I do a wound on that bruiser stick, but he's like, I've already done this once before. I'm not falling for it again. I'm sticking around. So fortunately, that bruiser sticks. This is what it's looking like over here. I shoot both my rocket batteries, and I think I get 2 hits between all the shots. I don't kill either of them, but I only kill like 1 ogre in the process. So I think I had 3 hits, and they all rolled 1s. It's like, ugh. Could be roll average or something. Rocket batteries, step it up. Imperial Rocketeer. No problem killing the cannon with my steam tank. No problem with the Knights of the Sun Griffin beating up the Lassino Tusker Cav. And then I had a hard choice here. I was really trying to decide what I wanted to do with these bruisers, if I wanted to turn a face, and I decided I wanted to overrun here to try and get closer to that cannon, because I was more worried about that than the bruisers at this point, because I'm thinking like, which this cannon gets free from that one rider that was like holding it up. I wasn't comfortable with this cannon just kind of being on the loose still, even though I still got my steam tank to shoot at it. Yeah. So, and I ended up turning my knights away from the bruisers, because I felt like at this point I wasn't really going to catch them. And then at the start of this turn 4, which is my opponent's Ogre turn 4, we had a friend who was kind of waiting for a game, and kind of when he saw my knights turn away, he was thinking like, all right, well, that's pretty much the end of the game. He's like, he's not going to go off my bruiser block. I'm not going to really catch him. I was in his deployment zone with my knights over here. So he just I don't think he even did his magic phase. I think he just shot with his cannon, and he did another 3 wounds to my steam tank, so he got half points. And then we ended up having to call it here on turn 4, which kind of stunk, because I thought this game could have still turned out a little bit differently. It's in my favor right now. I'm not gonna call it. I'm not gonna give a score for anything. There's a lot of things he's getting half points from. I've got, he's got a lot of points in his bruiser block still. He's got an expensive cannon on the board. I think it would have been fun to play this game out. I guess I feel like it would have been more interesting to play one turn out. If one turn, if I can get that cannon, and if I can get my knights in a place where like I can either comfortably flee, or I really don't have to worry about, because he actually chaffed me up. Because he was able to chap me with that bruiser. So I don't know. I really wish we could have played this game out a little bit longer. But I don't know. We were trying to get a few people together at a gaming store, and one of the guys couldn't make it. So and we had a guy waiting. So unfortunately, the game ends at turn 4. Still really much in the flux, because it really depends on if my Knights of Sun Griffin get into that cannon. I can comfortably, basically on my turn 5, kill the bruiser in front of me with my knights, and then basically reform in a way, or turn in a way where I can flee, and I really don't have to even worry. I would be able to, distance myself to where it's like, but that is a long charge. Looking at this picture, it's a long charge for my Knights of Sungriffin there at the top of the picture again in that cannon. So it looks like probably like a 16-inch charge. So I'd like to say it would probably be like a 9 on the dice at least, which is supposed to be average on a Swiss stride charge, but easy to fail too. And my steam tank looks like it's like 10 or 11 inches away, so that's not even that easy for the random movement either. So I would probably random move 5 into it, but it could be tough to make it all the way in. So this is, we're not really calling it in any regards for this game. It was a fun game. I really like this Empire Sonnstahl list, actually. I think I'm going to play a few more games with it. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it like, oh, this is going to be my tournament list for this year. I'm debating about going back to the Triple Griffin list. I really missed that list. Although I want to say I don't hate what happened in .205. I think a lot of magic or enchantments got more expensive in .205 in certain capacities, and it made kind of all the characters more expensive. But it's still a fun list. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to look at that list again, but I really enjoy this Knight list. This Knight list is a lot of fun. I think I'm just going to tweak a couple things here and there and keep playing it. I don't know how I feel about the Imperial Rocketeers. I like them, but I'm almost like, I don't know. Been loving Riders, though. I don't even know why I wasn't playing with Riders as much as I was. They're just so fantastic. They're one-unit Riders with the brace of pistols. Like, beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, they just did so much for me this game. The ones with the repeater handguns, I'm a little bit sad they didn't kill that one saber-toothed tiger. But I feel like it's too early to be like, alright, repeater handguns are trash. I'm not going to play with them ever again. I think I'm going to try a couple more games with them, because I like the idea of, Riders that kind of sits like closer to my Knights. Maybe they shoot the repeater handguns the first couple turns, and then, oh shoot, I need a chaff. There's this, Riders right here next to my Knights that can go do it. But otherwise, I don't know. Brace of Pistols is so good, though. I don't know. That's the only problem with the repeater handguns is you're not better in combat, unfortunately. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle report. Sorry I couldn't get to turn 6 with this game, but hopefully I'll get a new game in soon, and I'll make another battle report. Hope you guys enjoyed this. See you soon.